All right. My papers. Okay. So they gave you the pretty points up here too, so there's no guessing game. It'll be 1682 minus 648 all over 20 minus 10. What did I tell you about the AP readers when you have a problem like this? Yeah, you don't actually have to get a simplified answer. I know, and it's angry for you. I mean, if you really want to go back and do like old school.
That's what I did.
So this would become a 12. That would become a 7. So you get 4, 3, 10. Is that what we got?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is easy to do because all you do is add a decimal.
What the?
It's 103.4.
It's 100.
It says using correct units. Using correct units. What is the units?
Students per day.
Yeah, students or people, yep.
So wait, if we write just that, we just do.
No, that's not the explain the meaning. That is the answer. Whoa, that's really off. That is the answer and the units.
I'm meaning like if we do 1,682 minus 648 over 20 minus 10 students per day. That's good. Cool.
Numerical number attached to a unit. Okay, so if I were to put this into words, which is why I had Danny read it out loud, I wanted you to hear it. What I would say is the number of students with the flu, so number of students with the flu, is it increasing or decreasing? Yes, so make sure you put that. The number of students with the flu is increasing. How is it increasing? Yep, at a what? What do we call that increase? At a rate of, and you could say 103.4. Yes, but there's one more thing you need.
One day.
No, the students per day is okay.
From day 10 to day.
There you go. From day 10 to day 20. Or between the 10th and 20 day. But yes, you have to make sure you talk about the 10 and the 20. Yeah.
Would it be acceptable to round that to 103 because you can't have 0.4 students?
That's such a hard question. I don't know. AP is so strict on their 3 decimals that like,
Strict on their 3 decimals that they'll divide the children.
yeah. Because you're not saying exactly, you're saying a rate of.
So like if it said like at day 10 how many kids were sick, you probably round it.
Yeah.
As the kid plus the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting infected little by little. The point for is getting infected a little bit.
Hey, don't judge us. We used to drink Italian and ranch packets on the basketball bus because they wouldn't feed us. Remember that, Noah? What did you say? We used to drink Italian and ranch packets.
You.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There was a time when we were freshmen.
Yes.
We were freshmen and sophomores going to a
Olive
playoff
Garden is
game
the only
that
place I'll
was
ever
for
Italian.
Those both rang.
Here.
Really lost all
So
one
it
of
sucks
me.
for me.
So it's like right there.
Like,
Look.
and wait.
It touches
Here's to hoping it's actually recording my
That's
screen.
crazy.
It's recording?
Oh no.
I put it on record, but I don't know if it's actually recording what we're doing.
I hope it's not.
So, well, yeah, but there's no page. So, part B. Pages in here. She don't want to see it.
And she
Josh,
That's why I said let them stop.
Okay, B. Set up the expression involving a limit. Set up an expression involving a limit. Set up an expression involving a limit of an appropriate difference quotient that would find the instantaneous rate of change. Oh my bad, I didn't put it there. I saw it.
Where was it?
There. I pointed to
It
it.
wasn't me. It wasn't me either.
It was me. No, it actually wasn't. I have no idea.
It wasn't me. I just saw it whenever I was like, wait.
It was Andrew.
I feel like it was Andrew too.
Maddie put it on my desk and I just had some fun.
No, learning is hard.
Well,
Wow.
That's
that
the only
was,
one that
it's
exists.
not a hard, it's more of a side of
That's
triangle.
It does look like it.
I mean, wait,
My
let me
brother
push
has
it.
a
Why I
I'm gonna
appreciate
push
my
the dark
and
hair top
he
down right
made a
now.
comment about it. He said, "Stop! I'm really
He shows-
self-conscious about
He
it."
told me about it.
Who
It's
cares?
so funny.
It's just a little light patch in his hair.
What do I care?
All right.
It's like,
Now when I had like an 80-year-old cutting my hair and she started talking to me about the angels, I was like, oh god.
What would our limit look like?
The limit as h approaches 0, that is x plus h minus fx over h.
Okay, so yes, that is the limit
Wait a second.
formula, but it asks you to do it at a specific point.
As
So
X approaches that point.
Of f of 10 plus h minus f. Wait,
By
that's
10.
h approaches
As
16.
t approaches 16.
No, h is approaching 0.
As t approaches 16.
It's G
No.
of 16 plus H minus G of 16.
Oh wait.
There you go.
I basically said that,
So
but I
it's
mixed up f and g and mixed up 10 and 16.
Yeah, because that's all the same, Casey.
Eventually, I was gonna. I just tore off. Yeah.
So somebody said they want. Oh, sorry, that was a terrible G in 16. Somebody wanted to make it as t approaches 16. What other definition of the derivative could you do where you made it the limit as t approaches 16? How would I write this difference quotient?
I would just take the derivative.
So it'd have to be g of t minus g of 16 all over t minus 16. So those are your two choices. So guess what part C wants?
Us to do the thing.
Yeah, it does. It wants you to actually do this. So it says estimate the instantaneous rate of change in students with the flu on the 10th day. So now you use 10, not 16.
Great.
Of the month. State your answer clearly and explain in one sentence how you got your answer. So again, Andrew, you said I would take the derivative. However, we don't have a function to take the derivative of.
We have the tangent line.
Okay, we're putting on enough information.
Okay, so we have a tangent line.
Yeah.
So how could I use the tangent line and the second point?
You have to
So-
use the slope.
Yep, so what would the slope look like?
1,267 minus 648.
Is that funny? Is that funny?
Did you hear me? I forgot how to talk.
I did hear. Okay, so what's that put on top?
I couldn't tell you.
100.
This is where I get.
Probably over 100.
well, that's all we need.
I'm gonna go with like 600 and like
619.
There you go.
19.
About 600.
What would the units be on that?
Hundreds.
Students per month? For 10 days.
just be students per day. The explanation would have more of what you're going for, but the units would be what are you subtracting on top and what are you dividing on bottom. Like literally go back to like, yeah. Guys, seriously. No, you're not. So, explain your answer in one sentence. What did I find in part C and how is it different than what I found in part A? What did I find in part C?
The general formula.
The instantaneous rate of change.
Yeah, I found the instantaneous rate of change, not the average rate of change. Instantaneous rate of change. What is another fancy word that we learned way back when we were in like algebra 1s, 2s, and 3? What do we call this that's right in front of my finger?
Slope.
Slope. So your explanation could be the slope. What is it, the slope of?
The instantaneous rate of change.
The line tangent to the
There you go.
I looked at the question and it came out.
Well, maybe read it, understand it, and answer it back.
Okay. The slope. Yeah, that was kind of harsh. Remember, we are friends, we are classmates, and we are a team in this room. We build each other up, not knock each other down. I literally gave this lecture to my son last night. Do I need to give it to you all too?
Oh, your son got
I'm not taking
Oh, I was mad.
I'm not taking none of them down.
I'll tell you
I
what.
don't take lectures lightly.
Okay, no, I had that boy.
That's when I cried.
I did. He was crying.
Had him by the
Okay,
neck.
so the slope of the tangent line, what's the rest of this sentence? Guys, this is all over your AP test. You need to know this. This is where you guys struggled on the mock exam.
Is
Hey, we're trying to
61.9
put
to 10
everything.
days from
Doesn't mean
10 days to 20 days?
No, there's no numbers. Like it
It's
says,
positive.
says state your answer clearly and explain in one sentence how you got your answer.
Is the derivative of g.
So the slope of the tangent line, how did we use it? What did we use it to find?
Instantaneous rate.
There it is. So the slope of the tangent line was used to find instantaneous rate of change. So as I said, today is about instantaneous and average. How are they different? How are they alike? How do we calculate one versus calculating the other?
What do you have to say for the count today?
So that, this question didn't ask like to explain our answer in the context of the problem. This question just said, how did you get your answer? So it was like asking you why we did what we did. So if you wanted to put your answer in terms of the context of the problem, then yes. It would be the number of students with the flu is increasing at an instantaneous rate of 61.9 students per day on the 10th day. So what that means is the exact change on day 10 is 61.9 students. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to take out the next handout that talks about the tangent line.
Tangent lines
No, like not the same, like the next handout.
The tangent line.
Yes, tangent line explorations.
I don't want to explore this one. Still
Well,
good.
All right. I need a blank one. So, before doing anything else, answer these questions. For a function, f of x, the slope of the tangent line that goes through the point A, f of A, would be represented in what notation? How do we represent the slope of the tangent line at a particular point A, f of A? No. Like almost like how I did over there.
Oh.
What would the slope of the tangent line be? F prime A. Thank you. the slope of the line tangent through a point, A, f of A. Part 2 is what a lot of you were saying to me.
Point slope one.
Part 2 is give me the equation for it. Yep.
Oh, I never. Well, I probably did. But you said,
What?
Like, I always did the hard way and put it in the y equals. I just didn't know how to do this one because I didn't care to learn. So I didn't know how to run.
If I asked you to change this to be linearization, how does the tangent line equation relate to the linearization equation? Because truly they are the same thing. They're just slightly different. So put it in linearization form. Yeah, what's the only thing I got to do? Yeah, linearization just moves the f of a. So they write it as f of a plus f prime of a quantity x minus a. Okay, so it says the function w of t gives the number of gallons of water in a basement at time t. So it gives the number of gallons of water. So w of t would be the first, second, and third derivative. It gives gallons of water. It's the first, right? It's the original function. It's like position because it's just gallons. There's no rate attached to it. We are given that at time 10, there is 12,000 gallons. And the rate at which the water is flooding in at time 10 is negative 700. So the river is flooding this basement. Yeah, they do have a problem. That's a lot of water. So what does it mean to say that W of 10 equals 12,000? And I kind of already hinted at this, right? So at, yes. So at t equals 10 hours, what does that represent in terms of the context of this problem? What are those 10 hours representing? Yeah, after the river flooded, right? So again, I'm just being super specific. So at 10 hours after the river flooded, what's the 1200 represent? In the basement. Good.
We just put at 10 hours, there's 12,000 gallons of water. Would that be okay? Or is that not specific enough?
I think they would be okay because it's timed and you have to be fast. But just for right now, since we're practicing, we're writing everything. But yes.
I was just wondering if I just did it on the test, would that have been wrong?
Oh, no. Maybe I'll email Canfield and ask her. She's been going and being an AP reader stuff. Okay. What would the units be on the derivative of that problem?
Per hour.
Perfect.
Fast.
Sorry if your copies are bad like this one. Okay, explain the meaning W prime 10 equals negative 700 in terms of the context of this problem.
Would it be the rate at
Yeah, I was going to say, before you start saying the word rate, always start with where the derivative is. So you should auto start at 10 hours. So everything you do should always start at the time. Because otherwise you might forget it. And without it, it is incorrect. So I would start at 10 hours, just like we did up above. So 10 hours after the river started to flood, the amount of water. Perfect. And that's the big word they're looking for, is decreasing. They want you to know what that negative 700 means. Do not write, since you wrote the words decreasing, do not attach a negative to the 700. So once you write the words decreasing, you cannot attach a negative to that 700. Does that make sense? Estimate W of 11 using the derivative. Estimate W of 11 using the derivative. So what could I plug into? Perfect. So this would end up looking like what? Yep. So what's my answer? So 11,300, what are the units? Perfect, because we are finding the amount of water. Okay. Here's a graph for WT. So now they've given you the graph. Here's a graph of WT. Draw a tangent line at an appropriate location and explain how it illustrates your estimate in the previous problem. Where would we put our tangent line? Where did we write our tangent line equation to? What? 10. So what you want to do is kind of try to draw yourself. So you would like to label the point t equals 10. And then you could put at the point 11, kind of your second dot, right? Because we know 11 is 11,300, and connect them. So again, that should make sense to you. You went from one point to the other, and you went down 700 and over 1. A tangent line, by definition, has one specific role, and even think back to geometry. Lines tangent to circles hit or cross how many times? Once. So this tangent line is only on the graph WT once, and then makes that line. It doesn't matter that it hit it up above. The specific point we're talking about is at 10. Better? I understand tangent lines and instantaneous rate of change pretty good. Makes sense? So, we have about 20 minutes. What I want you to do is the problem on the back, and then the other practice problems in the packet. Don't worry about the one that I hand wrote because I think it's really hard to see. So I'm going to type up the handwritten one for you because it copied just terribly. I don't know, I wrote it in time. Limits and continuity.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you could start one part you want to put. Probably the calculator part, even with that. It might be tight. You can.
When it says carefully drawn, how carefully